from the start of Excel to Power BI and now to SQL. So we really appreciate everyone's contribution so far, dedication. Trust me, the journey is not easy. We'll come back. You always hear, I know some of us that say, hey, and I think I'm talking to myself. Sundays are for Sundays after church is for movies. I like going to movie station to see a movie or to see what's going on. So, but we still take up our time to come to learn one or two things. So it's very important we are doing this good thing for ourselves. So so let's continue for where we stop. So today, let me share my screen. Today we'll just be doing something very simple. It's going to support us what we have been discussing yesterday. Though the truth is we can't cover everything. Time is always not on our side. But I want to encourage us. This is just the beginning. But the most important thing is you understand the pathway at which you can, learn on your own. I keep telling people that SQL, that people call it SQL. I learned it myself, watching YouTube, watching this, trying it out until I was now being exposed to the real work it works for. Man, it's so overwhelming. You will be making mistakes up and down, you get frustrated, you always go and get coffee, just trying to explain what happened to me that year. I know, and I think I will not say maybe COVID helped me a lot, but COVID, kind of now give me that room, I'm not coming to work. I just at home, working remotely, and I have this rest of mind to, to begin to do some research on my home for the event. It was, but these are better ways at which you can actually learn from ourselves, and that's why we're so. Today we'll just be looking at subqueries and derived tables and string function and date time functions. So we just look at this because it's very important. The various things we'll be doing. Like yesterday, we talked about the join operator. What join clause, left join is mostly used. We have the left join, we write the right join, the inner join, and the full join. The left join, it has to do with two tables now. Of course, all of them deals with two or more tables. For the left join focus, there is a table who actually be the fact, and the other one is to extract certain information that matches with the main one. So that's just it. And like I've said yesterday, that please don't just use join. Join, no. You have to be very specific. Filter, anytime they want to filter information, this is where it gets exposed. So you need to use left join, which is the right thing. Anytime you felt, okay, I want to connect to a fact. But if you are dealing with two fact people you want to extract, mostly it's usually in a join. So, of course, always feel free to reach out in case you have an issue. So we'll be looking at subqueries at derived tables and string functions, date and time. Let's go. Now, subqueries and derived tables. That's what we want to look at now. I think we briefly talked about subquery while we are comparing it with join clause yesterday. That's yes, they can sometimes their function can be very similar, but in most cases you don't use them interchangeably. So join is to merge the table through a column that is common between the two. While subquery is to actually return a particular data or column now from another. You see what we are talking about here. So Yes, and subquery are known as nested queries or subselect, and they are queries nested within another SQL queries. That is what this subquery is the beauty of SQL. It's what enable you to perform a complex analysis. Trust me, create a table, that you every day in everyday life, if you are working, there's no way you will not work with a software. So they are very powerful pictures. The SQL that allow you to manipulate data from one or more tables based on the result of the inner
Oh,
query. Yes.
yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry to cut in. Can you please more like increase the can you I think you're not
My
that
volume.
audible. Like yes, the volume is kind
Oh,
of low. Yes.
okay. I think it's because I'm using my.
Okay.
Hello, is it better now?
Okay, so
Hello.
can we drop reactions if we feel it's okay now? I want to see our reactions. Okay. I think yes, it's better. Okay, it's
Okay.
better.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that important feedback. I'll just assume we are seeing it. All right. So subqueries are typically enclosed in a parenthesis. Yes. And they can be used in various parts of SQL statements such as select, from, where, having clauses. Now, I know we are used to a particular pattern of subqueries for people that actually know have been using subqueries, but you'll be seeing different types right now. So, and is the common type actually? We have the scalar, we have the row, we have the correlated. I think we still have other two, but let's explain this. Now, scalar subquery, what does it do? Now, a subquery that returns a single value and can be used in a place where a single value is expected. So this one can fit in where you are trying to use a condition like where, or you are trying to use, or you are trying to multiply a particular value in the select one, in the select clause. We talked about it there. So let's look at what row is. You will see the syntax and you see how it works. Let's look at the row subquery. Now, the row subquery here, it's actually return one or two rows, just from the name, and it can be used with the operation like in, not in, any, also at the where region too. So let's say you are trying to return a particular entire column, but here they call it row. So you can actually use your row subquery to get that done. And you see the examples. So what about parented subquery? Parented subquery, is referred to column from an outer query. It's executed for each row in outer query, making it more dynamic. We are used to this. This is the word that is mostly common. From the select option, it will return to a particular row that we want, and that will be nested as a new table. So let's look at the queries. Of course, the subqueries are actually more than this now, but we just want to limit ourselves to this. You can see the syntax actually. You can see the scalar, yeah, and select. This is just like an example. And this, you can see, if you see my cursor, you will see select maximum salary. You will see just a single value can come in, or maybe for an entire row or thereabout. Maximum salary. You can see that is a value. So that value can be replicated if we do something like this. So it's just like we are writing a query inside a query. That's the one nested. So what about the row subquery? I'm going to try it first. And you see, select product name from product. Now, That these are the normal query. Now, where the product ID in, that is talking about a list of an item from here. So that is from the row. You can see it with the condition. This one also works with condition by returning an entire row that can matches with this. I know it might still be looking like a magic now, but trust me, it's very easy. So correlated query, here is saying select correlated subquery. I mean, it says it's just a way to retrieve. It's very similar to the row, but this time around, it can either be a single value or what's the name? The single value, the single value that is returned, or an entire row. So you can see from here where salary, and there is another important thing here. You will see that there is more than one table here. Of course, there have been more than one tables here connected, but of course you will see this is where the correlated one can actually be used also in the join. I mean the join clause, yes. So you see the alias E, where salary is greater than all the average from here, and another condition. It's very easy, and we are going to try everything before we move on. Okay, I've mentioned this yesterday. I talked about the subquery, join, and two different approaches to get similar results. And I just try to summarize it. But what matters most is when you use them. But let's go. Let me go back to the syntax. Let me edit and go through our stuff. Our class is a practical one. It's an interactive one. So we are still using the tables we have yesterday. So we just want to get something. So let's try to use our transaction table, or let's use product. Everything shouldn't be transaction. From product information, now, and you have to be certain if they are correct. Sometimes just need to get it done. So now this is the product information. Now we'll be looking at them one by one. For example, let's look at the scalar, for example, that must be returned from the select option. And if you notice the select option here, this is everything. We can type, let me type something here, product name and everything. So two product name will appear here. You can see this is one product name, and the real product name also is also here. It means that it can actually return a real. So what if we are trying to write another query? This is what it normally does. Now, let's look at the connection here. We have store location code. So let's write the store location code, for example. Let's return it from store info, if I'm correct. Yes. So it's not really much. So let's say we want to make a condition now. We actually want to make a condition, and I said, okay, this are numeric. These are numeric now. So I now say where okay, let me look at this. Oh, this is supposed to be a store location code, like this one. Like this one. 316, like that. So this was supposed to be that. So let's assume we are trying to state a condition now. I said where we shouldn't be serial number, but I think by now we know how to correct. Maybe let's say we want to update or alter a table by now, especially if you notice something you have here is not what you want, but don't let us do that now. We have serial number, let's say is less than 30. I'm just saying. So let's run this and see. So it will just show us this true. Now, our concern, let's assume our concern is just only these two. Ibadan and Lokoja, for example. So we can actually see how should I put it now? If let me try to dig something out, especially so that you don't get confused with the group by option or something. So let's say okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me just use an aggregate number, for example, for year. An aggregate number. We don't waste much energy. So let's say we are using um, 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 okay, let's use AVG. That will just get one single value, just one single value. This. And let me try to round it up so that these decimals will not be there. Round. I know I'm doing my best not to make it okay, 1.5. So let me call this let me call this as, let me just call it average. Yeah. So we just give it an alias. Now, since it is 1.5, do you know we can also put 1.5 here? This is where I'm going to. Let me see. You can see it's not actually defined a column. But 1.5 can actually appear on the in another column. So we can just say, okay, let's 1.5 be anything. Let's call it factor or something. So that by the time we run this, but this is the problem. In some cases, we might not be, let's say we just need the average, use the average here. So instead of doing two-way things and first of all look for the average, maybe there's more data that came in, has been added to the data set or to the table that's making it change or it's increasing. And we'll now be typing it manually here. No, you can just copy this, like you can put it in close brackets or before we do that, let's try to bring everything in a series. Don't worry if this part is not clear. I'll do my best to explain again. So in the place of 1.5, so let's run it now. And let's see if it's going to run. You can see. Let me pause. I want to actually entertain question now. Seriously, I felt there's a need for me to do that. Is there any question so far? Do we have any questions? Is there a need for me to explain it again? Please. I'm trying to see if anybody's raising his or hands up so that definitely I'll have to drop my screen. Is there any question? If you ask any question, please raise up your hands so that we'll use this understanding, we will build on this and going on. So since I'm not seeing any hands up right now, so I believe this part is fine. All right, all right. So that is example of a scalar. Let me continue to share my screen. That is an example of a scalar. So instead of writing this, let's say I running this separately, get the value, maybe just one value. I now start typing, just type the value manually. No, you have a lot of queries to deal with. So it's very important you just put everything, nest everything inside. This small one, as a matter of fact, you can even highlight this one. And run it, it will give you the same 1.5. So it's as good as you are putting 1.5 inside it. And that is what scalar subquery is all about. So I want to believe this part is clear to some extent. That's why I actually break it down, and so that we can, have a better understanding of what is happening here. So that is for scalar. Now let's look at row subquery. All right, so you will just ensure that any possible thing that can be here, I felt I should just explain this, possible values that can be here can fit in. Now, it doesn't have to be a single value. It depends on what you are trying to do. Sometimes I can even use the same information and say, okay, the sum of all one particular column within this product information. But let's look at I believe by the time we lay our eyes on some real case studies, it won't be a problem. Now, let's look at row subquery, for example. We will see that it's focusing on the condition. So, and you can see the syntax, that is where the product ID, like this one now. So let's do something like that. So from let me use product category. This still. So now we want to have a way of connecting to this. We just want to have a way of connecting to this so that we all know if we run, let me do something there. If we run this, you will see, like, okay, let's just have it in our mind. Let me just type it out this thing and say, let's just say we want to look at north for northern states, for example. And that northern state has a code of sorry, 2, 3, and 4. So for northern states, you can 3 for Zaria, Kaduna, 4 for Adamawa, 2 Lokoja for Kogi, North Central. So let's say this is our priority. So instead of, let's say we have many of them like that, and we are trying to, we don't want it to be, or don't let me just use this. Okay, let's just use 1 to 3 or thereabouts. I want to, I don't want it to appear as if we can use this one as alternative, but of course we are learning. But let's do something like this. Let's take away 4, something like this. Just focus on 1 to 3, for example. So in this case, um, in this case, we now want to make sure that our focus is actually on this first 2, 3, Badon, Lokoja, and Zaria. So we just go on and search it, where the serial number, sorry, where the store code, let's run it so that we can see it properly. Store location code, So it's say store underscore location, underscore code in. Sometimes people will just use equals to, somebody will say that's a baby step, but of course it doesn't matter whether they are baby step or not. But the most important thing is you get the idea. So in now, we just want to return the 1, 2, 3. So say select, we type this separately, store info. Now see where the serial number. Let's remember serial. Sometimes if you are not sure of the spelling, because spelling can be the source of error, just go to this and you will see the column here. You will see how it is written, serial number. Everything is there so that you don't have to stress yourself. Where the serial number is less than 4, that is 1, 2, 3 now. So if you run it, this short one, so it will just show you the first 3, 1, 2, 3. These are just simple examples. So we'll put it on a series again, and we'll now copy it. So paste it. So sorry, the serial number is what we are looking for. So definitely it's not going to be everything. So it's going to be serial number. Let's just copy it. Don't forget. So let's run it and see if it will work. Oh, in. Serial number code. She's saying it's a very, oh, do you know why? I love this. Do you know why it's not going? It's the data type now. It's the data type. So for example, this is another key thing you should know. If you look at this guy, is a numeric. I remember is a numeric. But if you see this guy, sorry. So if you run it, you will see the store location code is in character vary. So sometimes we can change it. We can change some of these things. And I said, okay, let me see if I can do that. Maybe it will give us an extension of what we don't really know. So to address that, and I like it. I thought I copied it. Yeah. So to address that, let's just, so to get it done, is what we have. We can do something like this and say serial, yeah, say what's the store location code, numeric, and just try as serial. I just want to see if it's going to work. Okay. So do you see it now? It's just the same thing, but this time around, this is a way of one of the shortest way at which we can convert a character to a data type into another, like the numeric. You can see it's now in numeric. Then we can now say, okay, this is looking fine. We have not this, though we are not supposed to talk about this. Then we can say, okay, let's create a view. I'm not sure we have done that. So let me just create a view and just use it. Create view is just like we are creating a new table, but this time around, it's going to be, it's just an name of table. So, but it is created from an existing table like what we have here. So create view, and let's call it product again now. Let's call it. The reason why I'm doing it is that we can actually do it directly, but I don't want to complicate things. I really don't want to complicate things. So let's just create view, and we can use that also to learn. So, so we have successfully created view. Now, view, you can see table here, and let's look for view. Let's look for view. View, where are you? In alphabetical order. Views. So you can see products. So I can actually view products same way. The way I'm viewing this guy, products information. So this is just a Jara to us. For us, I mean. So it's the same thing. Merge. So we can now to repeat the same thing. So we can just copy from here. Paste and change it to serial num. So let's see if it's going to run. It should. Yes. So you can now see that it's only going to return 1, 2, 3. Ibadan, Lokoja, and I think if I'm correct, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all true. So you can see that that is row subquery. Is an example of row subquery. But in some cases whereby if I'm not permitted to create a view, I will just run this thing like this, change it to numeric, and continue. And I even nested it and just go on with what I'm doing. But because I still want it to appear as simple as this, that's why I just create a short table here. So that is the basic thing. So column like that, just the same way as view. And of course, if you are now connecting it to what's the name? You are connecting it to your Power BI, to some visualization tool, the view will appear as well, same way as table. But if you are using materialized view, there's another one called materialized view. Let me see if it is here. This is view. Let me see. This is materialized view. It will not appear. But the essence of using materialized view is to make the work, if you are having a large data set, you want to save for a temporary time. So this materialized view is best so that it doesn't slow things down. It's very important. So I wish there's time to just discuss all this. But let's move on. So I want to believe you understand this roles and still have a lot of things to to grow. So that is actually roles of query. You will see it here. Where in. So most of the time, they normally use it to have access to other tables. You just need some piece of information because these tables are growing, are changing. And this one too is changing. So based on the new change, you might not know new update. Maybe there are some others, there are some exceptions, the condition you have stated here. Then a single execution will be necessary. So those correlated subquery syntax, very easy too. So don't mind all this one. It's very similar to this. Just like you are bringing two tables now with their conditions together. I don't think uh, we should do this. It's just it's just one of the things we discuss here. It's just something we have here. So it's quite very easy. So let's go on. Let's go on. All right. So now I've this that the choice depends on what you are trying to use. Anytime you want to merge two tables together, please join. But anytime you are trying, you just need a piece of information. A piece of information. Practically, join can do everything. Join clause can do everything the types of subquery do. But but it will be very complicated and the likes. So let's go on. Now, the derived table, I actually don't want to. That's why I'm just trying to. Now, the derived table, also known as inline views, like what I just explained now, or subquery results, are temporary results set. There's temporary result set created within SQL query from clause. Now, the table are not stored, yes, in the database, but are generated dynamically as part of the query execution. This is the one that is most commonly used. So the derived table are particularly useful when you need to perform complex transformation or aggregation or from existing data using it, your main query. Now, before I move on, this is what they were talking about in your derived table. So in your derived table, for example, we might say, okay, let's say we are still using, okay, let's say we are using, okay, let's just say let's state a condition first. Let's continue to use this from here so that you see that all these things are possible. Now, let me indent it first. Now, we can now see from, this is the most common one, the derived table now. This one is what most people do use often. I will now say, okay, based on this one, or as a matter of fact, you can decide to just pick some handful of columns now. So we can type products. Let's say we only need product name, product category, uh, um, this is stock to the left. So let's say this is just what we want to know. This is just our concern. You know, from that theory, we have filtered it. So we just need this theory. So before we convert this theory properly now as a table, as a derived table, we can even give it an alias. It's very necessary. Let's call it A, for example. And I've said, okay, select, because this is now their family name. I think with it, I talked about it, that now that they are table, they now have a general family name. It's not focusing on every one of them. It's focusing now on this theory alone. So anytime we now want to say, okay, the product category, okay, let's look at the product category now. We now refer it as A dot, the surname first, dot product category. Then can now say, let's assume we just want to do some aggregate function by finding the sum here. And we can set sum, that is the group by that we talked yesterday. Stock quantity left. So let's call it as stock or remaining stock. So don't forget, we need to add a surname. Anywhere they appear, we need to add their surname. So here we now say, okay, well, group by, now add group by, and say, okay, we are grouping it with respect to the product category. We don't need it. Okay, let's say that's what is happening. Okay, then we can run it, but let's run it first. Let's see. You see? So you can see how we're able to redefine the existing table. That's what the derived table is actually all about. It's a form of subquery. So we derive a table from an existing one. This is a table. We write some formulas. I mean, we write some queries, and we're able to figure out some table and use an existing table to create a new table. And the beautiful thing here is that in some cases, you will now download them. You can even download everything you have here. Click on this. You will ask me, what do I want to save it in? I say, okay, let me call it Sunday. As today is Sunday, and I'll save it. But once I go to my desktop, you will see it there. I have that information there. As Sunday, you can see the Sunday. What I just downloaded Sunday. So that is how you can download data sets in the comma separated value and share still. So this is an example of a derived table. I'm trying to run because I felt there are a lot of information and we still things to be done. So I just want to believe we are getting it. Are we getting it? Hey, I'm not seeing anybody as well. Please, can we indicate like with sign with our icon if it is clear to some extent? All right. Okay. 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 All right. Oh, great. 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 Hey, people are not talking now. But let's continue. All right. So, in conclusion about this, some queries are valuable tools for performing complex queries and can help you to retrieve, manipulate data in a more versatile way, like what we've just done, especially when dealing with relationship and aggregation in a database. Yes. So if you are a data analyst, that of course you should be aspiring to be working with a large data. these guys will be your friend. As a matter of fact, just put it in a way you can understand it. Like, okay, if it's a report, that's what I used to do then as my when I'm having my sheet. Okay. So I will put the sign how it's going to be like, and how it will present itself. It's very easy. So, however, understanding when and how to use the subquery effectively is crucial for writing efficient and maintaining SQL query. So it's very important. This is very important. So string functions, and we are in the second part now. String functions and date time function. This one is just something you'll be using when to my biggest surprise to date, people don't know that SQL is actually built also as a way to clean up large amount of data cleaning. Hey, SQL is good at that. So that at the end of the day, you would not only transform the data, you will extract the raw data from the database and put it in your data warehouse, the ones you use. You get. So, data ware is what the clean version, the needed data set, you understand? And it has been cleaned. So we'll just look at some handful of them, please. It's very important to start cleaning with your SQL. Most people really don't know. I actually learned this from the work settings too. All right, string function. Now, string function in SQL are used to manipulate a perform operation in character string, test, thank you, manipulation in columns, or provided as literally in SQL queries. Now, these functions can be used handy for tasks like concatenating string, extracting some string, changing keys, and more. Everything here is for the cleaning of a different way to transform it based on your stuff. So let's go on. Now we have some string functions we mentioned here that are more peculiar with data analytics, though we might not really be going on by one to it, but it's all there, the syntax. So we have concat function. I think by now we should be more familiar with these things, especially in what's the name? In Excel, for example. Concat in Excel, when we are writing our DAX too, we can also do that, like bringing two or more data together. So it's just very important to do. So, and it will now assume as one. So it's possible to do that. What about the substring function? So substring function, it's just like you want to extract a particular a part of that, a particular information from an entire column now, a particular in string kind of. So you can actually do that. It's just like this thing in Excel, the left, the right, if you want to count it or find all this mix. So you can see it's very important when you are dealing with this. Then we have length and length. People in Python, people who are doing Python or the like, this is a way to number to count number of characters you have within that strings. You see everything is strings. It's a string function anyway. So all right, we have another one here, the upper and lower function. People don't even notice. You'll be dealing with, trust me, you will be dealing with lots of unclean data, particularly for people who will be handling, because I want you to get used to it. You will have a large database. One of the crazy tasks you can give a newbie in data, especially when you are just getting into a very large organization that deals with a large set of data, like health, like even bank or so. Bank is still kind of structured, but they will give you this Jones database, and you'll be seeing the tables in thousands. Ha! It's just like someone that want to share my testimony and say, where am I going to start? And somebody at the back will say, start somewhere. So it can be like that. It can make you even shut your laptop, go around. You know, I experienced it a lot when I was still very working. Once I noticed there's a tax, I saw it on my mail, the assets, everything, and I just start working. And I saw what I'm going to do. I will just lock my laptop, carry my mug, go and disturb my friends downstairs. I will play. I'll talk about football. I'll disturb everybody. Richard, go to your office. They will say, no, leave me alone. I want to settle my brain. So these things are common before going back and start planning. Can't wait with that. So string functions, they are much more than this. But as a data analyst, you should know how how you can fetch or mine data. Yeah, mine data from the rough one or one they normally call Datakliq now into your warehouse. Clean them, transform them. Oh, this is needed. You know, everybody like clean data now. You just start typing, start writing print, and you know it will look. But nobody wants to do the dirty job, you know, and that's it. So this is part of it, upper and lower function. So, and what does it do? You know, to ensure that you can convert the character, just upper, put it in upper. Let me even let me see something. Yes, let's upper uh, in quotes. Let me see if it's going to run. It should, I'm not sure. Does not exist. Oh, so it has to be okay, it has to be there should be a table to do that. Okay, let me just show you what this one is actually. Select. I'm trying to manage the time also. From product. Okay, let's use that product. So let's use the product name. Let's put it in the font. Upper product name. Let me call it. So let's see if it's going to work. Aha, so you see, text. The small letter one, you can now see is now in a big letter. So you can do a lot of things there. Just type it directly. There's another one I use most often, init cap. Init cap, like initial capital. We'll get to it. So now that is for lower and upper. And train function too. We all know this now. We know this one. Train function. It's very common in Excel. Trying to remove some characters or signable characters now. So most of the time, as you're extracting it, you just be using it and create new column in the course, and you extract what you want. What about replace function? Now, replace function is used to, you know, let's say you are trying to make some. Notice that there are some unnecessary quotes, so you can actually replace them. Okay, we need this. Replace it with that. So the functions are all there. We still have more. Now, carry index function also, that is talking about the character. We can change how the character is similar to changing the data type also. So that. What about left and right function? Just like yourself for counting, to noting that okay, I need from this end of this position, this thing should reduce. Sorry, I'm just trying to be very quick. To return the position of your string within. Okay, so left and right functions. Now the functions here you allow you to extract this particular number, specific number rather, from the left or from the right. It will count it. And this method is very common. Let's say you want to extract people's name from maybe we only have their email. email, just their email, their company's email rather. It has to be a company email because the end it has to be very consistent. But we can still use it as well for other email. But we'll just look at, okay, do we have any other email like Gmail? We state conditions, like they like, anywhere that's like, you return it, you change it, go back again for your Yahoo, go back in for Hotmail, a lot of things like that before you finish up. So it's one of the ways at which you can use to transform data and make sense out of it. This is the neat cap I was talking about. First letter should be capital letter, nothing more. To make it look like proper in Excel, proper function where you are extracting stuff. Make it looks a lot of sense. It's very cool. Now let's look at the date and time function. In SQL, this part is very important. People don't like it. Even me, I don't like the date and time function. Sometimes it can be very complicated. So, and these functions allow you to manipulate and extract information from the date, time, value stored in a database. Now, most of the time, you must have seen it in Excel. Once we have the right date, we can even extract the week number, the month, the year, the weekdays. Like, okay, is it Saturday? Is it Monday? You can things from there. And also, the good news is you can also do it in SQL. So we have some functions there that you can try. We have the current timestamp or get date function. So this one will return the current date, and the current date will be based on the date in your phone, your laptop. I've seen people that there was a time I was trying to fetch the current date. I was confused. It's someone else. Like, guy, wait now. Why this thing they give me here? And some hours ago, only for me to understand. Oh, the guy is worker now, so he's working with the company, I think US or there. So he has to adjust his time and some other things. So you can get that also in SQL. So what about date path function? Now this is a way to extract maybe day, month, from that function. So there's a syntax also for it if you want to extract the year. So most of the time, I just have this sheet. It's not something I always have in the back of my mind, but you can always reference it. You guys are not in exam mode, so you can always get it. So with this function, you can extract the month, and it make a lot of sense. So what about the date add function? We want to add a particular time. Let's say we are trying to create a time interval, or we want to calculate the difference. How many days apart? How many months apart? So that is what date add is. And to add it rather, not the date part of thereabout. So it's a way to add information. Let's say we want to guess. Okay, in the next 7 days, what will be the next day, the next it's just like all this Excel thing we had. So it's very easy. So we still have more. The big difference is what I was talking about. The way of calculating the difference between days, date in respect to days, months, and years. So there's a way you can just go about it, and it's very straightforward. Trust me, it's very. If it is day, for example, you will know that this is dealing with days, or dealing with days. Then you will know that okay, for me to calculate the week in the column, for me to calculate the weeks in the column, I will just add um, times 7 or thereabout, something like that. It's just something that will enable us to get. And same thing. Oh yeah, what about convert and cast? The convert and cast will return current date and the time in the system now. So it's almost the same thing as get data or this thing, but this time around, this will be on your system. But the format came, it's just the same way it is West African time from here and the likes. So month, year, and days function. Yeah, it will return the current days with month or current day with year, current day with it will just arrange all of them. It's just an avenue for you to extract valuable information from data. I always use this process as anytime they are asking you to do some data mining. Now, if you are applying for a data analysis job and data mining is, let's say the JD is around number 1 or 2, start doing pressure. It's like they give you one, it's like giving you a jigger that you guys are marching towards a site. They start digging out, mining. Now, you will need a lot of skills. Now, that digger is not the only thing you will need. I'm just saying this. You need maybe spoon, you need some knife, something that you will just, oh, this is good, or this is a dross. You're able to know which one is the right thing from the other one. So it's just one of the cool things, about it. It's fun because it will force you to learn, force you to use secondary things. And data mining skills alone, it's a top notch. If you have it, you are going places. So this will be the last end of my class. I truly wish I will have more time. What's the time now? Oh, he's still going to 24. Okay. Now, there's something I still want to show us. I would really love to show us. And I just, before I go on, it's just going to be very short, but I just want us to know this syntax for Postgres. Or sometimes, if you are having a SQL server, so you don't, it's almost the same thing. Just know that there is something that can help you to translate all this code. Don't stress yourself. I'm just saying this. You must not stress yourself no matter how. You must not stress yourself. If what they are saying, SQL, no problem. I'll maybe even AI will do a very good job. Okay, please, this is a query I wrote on Postgres. It's running. Please, I want to put it in SQL Server. Oh yeah, change it. You will do it. Because at workplace, it's not an examination hall, for God's sake, that they will not allow you to browse, or research is even part of it. I've seen someone that they almost query him because his cheat sheet is not even up to date. Meaning that you think we are here to play, time is money. Come on, where is your cheat sheet? You think everything you have to be doing it off and off and okay? Get your cheat sheet. Make sure don't waste our time and don't commit human error here. And that's just it. That is just it. So it's one of those things we should know. So let me quickly see if I can just run us through Windows function. And that will be all. But the most important thing is it's not about me rushing you guys. The most important thing is you actually getting it. And that's why I'm being tempted to always look back to see if there's any question. Or if there's any question now, okay, let me entertain question like before we just move on. It's a very short slide. So do we have any question? Please, if you have any, please put your hands in the air while I can see there. It's just, sorry, I watched too much movie. So please just put up your hands if you have any question. Please, any question, whether it is, no, there's no silly question, trust me. Or if you just have any question, just indicate. Okay, I want to believe this one that everybody is quiet like this. Okay. All right, I want to assume everything is fine. Though the recording will be available. We'll always this I think Ms. Abisara wants to say something. Oh no.
No, I wanted to tell people to raise their hand if they want to use the mic.
Okay. So you're sure that this, if you want to, if you have any question, is okay. In the absence of that, let's just quickly move on to the next one. That is Windows function. And I know, I'm very certain, you must have been hearing that Windows function. What does it do? You don't shake on, you know. And trust me, I'll just give an hint, and I'll not really go so deep to it, but it's very easy. Trust me, very, very easy. And it makes work uh, more easy, kind of. All right. So we have our Windows function here. And when you say Windows function, hmm, somebody might say, I remember when this thing, I was surprised that this thing came out. The Windows function, I think it came out 2013. That's because of the problem. There are some things Group by cannot actually do, the aggregate function. So instead of just leveraging it with respect to one particular stuff, because people who is going to be using Group by most of the time, it will be very difficult to return uh, other column data type that are not numeric or date or a date. So it will complicate things. So this is where the hero comes in Windows function. So I'll be looking at Windows function center, description, notation, rules, and maybe example. Now, sorry about my slides. It's just it's not bright enough. Let's just play it. Okay, now this is just like an overview. We call the Windows function as analytical function, using computing values over a group of rows and return a single result for each row. So I mentioned group by that focuses on an aggregate function. So you can see what makes it very outstanding. So this is different from an aggregate function, which returns a single result of a group of rows. So this one will still return everything. That's Windows function. It will return everything. Let's go. Everything will return. It will not stop any other thing. So it makes it more easy to do anyone. So Windows function include an over clause, very important clause, which define a windows of rows or a window of rows around the row being evaluated. So for each row, the Windows function result is computed using the selected window of rows as input, possibly doing aggregation. Yes. So with window function, you can compute moving average. Hey, very important for casting too. Most people don't know that moving average is a forecasting tool. So you have an idea of what is likely going to happen with respect to this time series, in the likes of time series and what's the name? All those regression analysis like that, our analysis of variance and the like. So rank item, calculating cumulative sum, and other analysis. So let's go. Now, Windows function syntax. Don't worry about all this Javajantis. So I'll show you. I think I screenshotted some of the examples. So this syntax can still look somehow a little bit, but it's very easy. Trust me, it's just easy. So let me just give a description. This is a description of the function we just add just now. Of course, the function name, the argument list, the function name are usually the aggregate function we want to. It can be ranked, it can be average, it can be sum or row number, and so on and so forth. Over clause is what enables us to partition this information, the clause that enables us to partition what we are doing with respect to. So I'm just doing my best to, to explain that. So the window specification, window frame plot, don't stress yourself with all this. So this was just generally explaining the impact of that notation rule. That is the kind of bracket, what's separating them. You have the square bracket, parentheses, curly brackets, all these things, they have an important things they are doing. So they have something they are doing. Now we have an example here. Good. Sorry, there's something that is flashing across my screen. So sorry, I'm just reacting consciously. All right, this is just a screenshot of one of my work there. That was there. So this is an example from line 25. You can see line 19 is just like we are getting it from there. But I'm going to still write it. I'm going to still do it. So let's just do something about that. But I don't want us to panic. It's not hard, trust me. It's straightforward still. All right. Let's use the transaction table this time around. Transaction table. So I think we talked about join yesterday. So we will not be. So let's now join it with to customer profile. Please don't be sure of what is this thing. Customer profile, correct? The customer ID on the customer ID. So let's add that surname. As well connecting there. This is C. So their surname now, their father's surname. It's a big wedding, like I'm using as an example. A big wedding. So let's just okay, what is happening? What is happening? Let's check the spelling. Activity doesn't exist. Custom. Oh, okay, this customer profile. Okay, correct. Table. Transaction table. Okay, that's correct. So let's look at the, sometimes you would see, customer ID. Let's see. We just check the columns. This is customer ID underscore. You see? So you can see why it's not running. It has underscore. So you need to check the transaction table to see column we have here underscore as well. So it's very important to also understand how to read the problems here. All right, so let's run it. Now, this marriage was successful. As a matter of everything is being merged. I want to now do something. Now that we have something like this, let's make a derived table from our subquery we talked about the other time. Let me name this window option. So from let me give this nickname as W. Okay. Now, select now Windows function. Let me just show you guys something. We have examples, so I don't have to be going back and forth. We have row numbers. Row number, you can number it automatically. We have row numbers. We have ranks, normal aggregate function, that is average. We have sum, total. We have rank. We have this ranks. We have lag. Well, let's just give them lag and so on and so forth. I think you can provide. Oh, sorry. So, now we want to do something here. The row number. One thing you should take note of anytime you are working on your canvas, the color, they are telling you something. The color, you can see commands. The color are usually on the white screen, it will be pink or thick or bolding pink or purple. Comment will be green, but in this thing it will look something else. The color here communicates as well. So we can say row number. Sorry, I've done that. So we'll go ahead and say okay, over plus. We can now go ahead and type partition. That is what we want to. We can just let's leave this one for now. As let's leave this for now. Let's call this number as let's call it numbers and all. So let's see what we are going to have. I'm just trying. So you see, this is actually the numbers. Now, because we don't specify, that's why this number just go on and on and on and on. But if we look at the what's the name? Let's use the state to judge. If we want to number it or label it with respect to state, then we can say partition. Partition by w dot state. That the correct location, sorry. Locations states. So let's see how it's going to look. Oh no. Still going to, let's call it numbers too. So now you will see how this number is arranged. 1, 2, 3. And by the time we go to it, the state has been arranged. Appear, like that. Sorry, let me do something smart here. Let me put the location here. So that we can see everything. Don't worry, you don't have to be scrolling up. Okay, very good. So you can see the number and the location. Abia. So once Abia is done, it will start counting again at the end with another thing. So you can see by the time we enter the new state, it will start another thing again to start counting. Just watch. So you start another thing. Once Abia is done, so you see, Adamawa is next. So it will start counting again. So this is what row numbers can do. Row numbers is one of the things it can do. You can see is one. I know I just hope it's not a lot. But today we learn security, we learn this, we learn that, try to fix everything together. But I'm just showing you one of the things you can actually learn, from here. It's very straightforward, trust me. So that means that you can actually do some things by um, make some arrangements, rearrange them with respect to. So yeah, we can say, okay, let's start with this order by let's use where's the numeric this thing. Let's use that. So don't forget to include their surname, quantity, so like the descending order. So that is from the largest to the lowest. Let's see how it's going to look like before we introduce it to the clause. Now, see, it is orientated. Now, anytime you are using the order by here, expected not to, it will almost negate the impact of the what's the impact of the how should I call it? The impact of the Windows function like row by here, for example. So yeah, you might not really need this. You just cut this, for example, and paste it here. So let's see. It's been a while I've done this, but I'm not sure. But let's try. So this is what you are going to get. Just fill the order here. So everything, let me even put it in the front. Where is the quantity supply? So let's just run it. So that we can see, you can see Abia, the largest quantity supply in Abia, 350, like that. So the moment we get to Adamawa, you can see it is being arranged from the largest to the lowest, in which a normal group by will only be able to return just one information. And you can see when those functions still able to return every other one with respect to that. So you can see that of Abia, the list we are getting towards 3 is the list in Abia. Then Adamawa, you can see it started also from 350 and so on and so forth. So one of the smart way here is that if the question is, let's return, we want to return the highest and the lowest on each state, we can actually do it. The moment we do something like this, we just state, okay, we will use this subquery, the derive table, and now use our function where the we just state the first position, the least position, just state the condition. The least one, the first one, the maximum one, you can do lots of manipulation going forward from there. So it's just one of the what's the name? The Windows function. I'd love to go ahead some time, but I think what I'm going to do is I will share. It's just the explanation here. I will share some of this It's just going to be like a guide. You see, I think we talk about the maximum here also. You see, the the ranks. So and so on and so forth. We have the rank, this rank, late lag, and more. So I'll try to share this also with us. You know, it's going to be in PDF anyway, so but I still want us to try so that we um, so that we don't just lose out of these things that is happening. So I want to strongly believe what we have learned so far. I think it will count. So that will be the end of this class. As a matter of fact, this will be the end of the course. You guys are amazing. You guys are wonderful, dedicated. I've never seen anyone as dedicated as you guys. So it actually shows that we are going places. Trust me, this is just the beginning. Irrespective of how we strive, we are trying to work hard. We are trying to, get it right in the midst of the market changing. So please, just know this that you are going places. Trust me. So I know there's still more to learn about SQL. Trust me, particularly when you are being exposed to projects. So please, another important thing that people don't know.